Welcome back to the second segment of our Skype segment. I'm here in the studio with Pastor Laolu Akande. Laolu.
Thank you, Rudolph.
Welcome back. Now, we've been talking about the situation in Nigeria, the political situation, and we've discussed several things from the perspective of someone who supports the Buhari campaign. Now, we have joining us via Skype Mr. Shedrack Fubara, who is a public affairs analyst. He's a supporter of President Goodluck Jonathan. Shedrack, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you, Rudolph.
All right. So I'm not sure, were you watching my conversation with Laolu Akande?
No, I didn't have opportunity to see that.
All right, that's good. That's okay. Now, so we're looking at the situation today. As a supporter of President Goodluck Jonathan, how do you feel about the way the campaign is going?
First, I want to thank you for inviting me to the show. It's a privilege and opportunity that I am very grateful for. I think so far what we have seen in Nigeria is a progress as we have made as a people. Some of us have been witness to other elections in the country that has held without even politicians going around to talk to the people. But today, we have grown to a stage and a position in the country where politicians are going around from one community to another, talking to the people. So it's a progress, and one that, as a Nigerian, I'm proud of. Having said that, it's important to state that the campaign is going on well, and it's about time that both sides of the aisle begin to focus on the issues that affect the ordinary Nigerian, the street man who is walking around without the affluence or without power. So those are the people that the ultimate decision that the politicians make affect. So I'm happy to see that these other Nigerians have been talked to. Both parties are going around from, like I said, from city to city, from community to community, talking to the people, and the people are getting a chance to ask questions. So it's good, and it's a progress that we have made as a people.
So let me ask you, I went on your Facebook page and I saw you posted this. There was a news story that attack on Jonathan, Ijaw youths vow to give not an eye for an eye. Your response to that headline was about time. Enough of the craze by the North. No one has monopoly of violence. Now, is that what you think Nigeria needs at this time, or does that give you? I'm worried. When I read that, I was thinking, is that a positive thing about this election? What brings about? How do you look at that and the election as it is as of today?
Thank you so much, Rudolph. It's unfortunate that at this time in our history, people should be taken to violence and attacking the president of the country. It must be stated here on record that any attack on the Nigerian president is attack on our collective unity, the collective unity of Nigerians. Such an attitude should not be encouraged by anybody. It doesn't matter what side of the divide you are. It should not be encouraged. The president, as well as the opposition candidate, they should be able to move around freely and campaign and talk to the people. That's what democracy is all about. But what we find today is a situation where the president, the sitting president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is being attacked by hoodlums or whoever they are, political supporters, for whatever reasons. Such should be condemned. And I condemn violence of any nature, of any sort. It's not encouraging. But that's what we see today in our democracy. It's very shameful. It's very, very shameful. So if it has gotten to the point where our sitting president is being attacked and nobody's willing to say anything, that's totally condemnable. And it's a shame as a people that in our history such a thing should be happening and nobody seems to be talking. There are leaders in the North. Can they speak up? They should speak up.
Okay, Shedrack, we're going to get other Skype callers to join us, but before we do that, I wanted to ask you, did you watch this AIT documentary called The Real Buhari?
I've heard about it. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I've also seen some commentaries on it, some positive, some negative, depending on who you talk to and depending on who is talking. But I personally haven't had a chance to watch it.
All right. Laolu Akande has a question for you.
Well, actually, just a response, Comrade Fubara. Certainly, you know, I don't think any of the leading presidential candidates or their campaign has endorsed violence. You know, both of them have spoken out, you know, and rightly so against it. They've signed the what is now called the Abuja Peace Accord. But what I wanted to add is that if you follow the news very well, the Inspector General of Police actually, a couple of days, came out to say that some of the instances of the attack on the president, which, you know, I must agree with you, is not acceptable. Some of them were not political. These were just hoodlums. The Inspector General of Police said this himself, you know, an appointee of President Jonathan, said that some of these were not political. These were just hoodlums, you know. So I don't think it's much of political as it is just basic crime. And I think that it should be, the people involved in it should be prosecuted. However, I think one of the things about this campaign is that there is so much disaffection with the performance of President Goodluck. President Goodluck has frittered away the goodwill that he had 4 years ago. He basically just made a mess of it, essentially by his attitudes towards the insecurity, by his insensitivity to the issue of the Chibok girls, by his reckless behavior when it comes to corruption, and by the fact that he has allowed the economy to go on a tailspin and he's just sitting there doing basically nothing. Now, so that explains the disaffection.
Shadrach, hold on. Okay. Now, Shadrach, you can answer.
Yeah, Reverend, you know, your assertion is, I think, is being overblown. It is on record that this country, Nigeria, today, people have forgotten where we're coming from as a nation. It's not been too far. It's not distant where we're coming from. Some of us have been alive and alive to where we were as a nation. A situation where we had total decay in infrastructure. Absolutely nothing working in Nigeria. That's where we're coming from. And we have a president today who is laying the foundation that others fail to do. We have a president today who is laying a transformation that previous government and previous presidents before him failed to do. If and only those before him had done a little bit of what he has done today, in terms of in agriculture, we're seeing that, you know, physical infrastructure, we're seeing that, you know, be it freedom of speech. Today in Nigeria, you and I can talk. Even the youngsters and the young ones who knew nothing, who didn't know about the previous governments, today they have freedom of speech. They can talk on social media. They can say anything they want to say. Nobody is harassing them. We have been witnesses to a country where people have flown abroad and left in exile because of the political harassment in the country. But today we have freedom of speech in Nigeria. It's something that should be celebrated. It's something that should be given, a credit that should be given to the president.
Okay.
We see infrastructure going on, development going on, and yet people are saying the president has not done nothing. That's not fair to him.
Shadrach, hold on, okay? We are going to get our Skype callers involved. We are going to continue this discussion. So stay where you are. I want to welcome Bishop Gregory from UK. Bishop, welcome to Sahara TV. Are you there, Bishop Gregory?
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And from Dallas, Texas, we have Mohammed. Mohammed, welcome to Sahara TV. Do we still have Mohammed? Okay. And we have Braithwaite, Umenta. Am I calling the right?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to Sahara TV.
It's my pleasure.
All right. So I guess you guys have been watching what we're discussing. And I want to frame our discussion today. Let's start with, I want to hear your opinion on the story of today, which was that 7,500 African troops are going to come to Nigeria to help Nigeria fight Boko Haram. Gregory, what is your take on this?
Well, thank you, Rudolph, for having me. I want to actually thank your good works and commitment towards the nation building of which you and I belongs to. Basically, I think that is not commendable if that is what is going to happen, considering the fact that Nigeria as a stand has the largest and the most populated blacks all around the world. We bringing in foreigner to come fight for us. It doesn't really make sense. We are high rated. The international community knows our military as one of the best underground fighter. Though you may ask, but these days you don't need to use a fight underground. But Nigeria as a terrain, we are dealing with people who have no flight, who have no plane, jet, and all of that. I think coming to bringing in troops of that magnitude doesn't speak on the nation as it is. Remember, this nation, they might become your enemy tomorrow. So why bring it there to come fight your battle for you? When you have all the military and you have all the resources that you have within you to fight this menace? So I don't think, from my own opinion, it doesn't speak well to
Okay.
Nigeria's stand. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Braithwaite, what is your take on this?
My take is that life has been lost every minute, every second. So even if it takes the world, it takes America, it takes Europe to bring forces just to save the life. As for now, I accept it. Just to save life, lives are being lost. So here, let's don't just be boastful. We have faith we cannot do it. It's just plain, at least for now. Even if we have the power, let's just worry about politics and accept the forces to save this life for now. Then later, we'll start boasting that we can do it. But for now, this life has been lost. If my mom or my parents or my sisters are there, I can't be saying, no, white people are dying every day. So I accept anything that can stop the killing, at least for now.
Okay.
That's my word.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to Shedrack. Shedrack, you are a supporter of the president. And people are saying with this move, it's an acknowledgement that the government has failed. What is your take on the idea that the Nigerian military is not capable? And we actually interviewed the spokesman for the military yesterday, and he was saying that they don't support foreign troops coming into Nigeria. What happened? How did we get to this point where, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, we have foreigners coming in to save Nigeria from our own internal enemy?
Yes. Thank you so much, Rudolph. First, I must appreciate the good work the Nigerian military is doing, and they have done so far. But unfortunately, we have a situation where Nigerians tend to play politics with everything. Like the former speaker said, lives are being lost on a daily basis. And in today's world, not just Nigeria, terrorism has become a menace that is ravaging every part of the country. We have seen it in Brisbane. We have seen it happen here in Ottawa. We have seen it lately happen in France. Terrorism has become a global issue that everybody must come together to fight. But unfortunately, what happens in Nigeria is people tend to politicize everything. I do not care as an individual, as a Nigerian, who cares about what happens in that country. I do not care if it takes the whole world to come in and help Nigeria to overcome Boko Haram. Boko Haram is a mess. We are also aware that there are military officers who are either colluding or alluding to this Boko Haram and supporting them. It was lately that we heard that some military officers were arrested. Why? Because when Boko Haram struck, rather than go fight them, they retreated or undermined the process that will confront Boko Haram. That is what we are seeing today. So if the president and the hierarchy of the military decides to invite foreign support, we should not play politics with it. We should not see that as a weakness on our soldiers or on the president. No, we are seeking to protect the nation that we call Nigeria. We are seeking to protect the nation that we call our
Frederick, just a minute. Sorry, I have to cut you there. Sorry. I consider the number of military personnel we have in Nigeria. How come? What is happening to this military? The numbers of the militaries. What is happening with the ammunition? What is happening with our resources? Nobody is playing policy.
My brother,
we should be honest.
Yes.
Like I said, these people you are bringing into your country, they might become an enemy tomorrow. Eventually, we are looking at the future.
Let me also interrupt you. Let me also interrupt you that to say that the number of military personnel is irrelevant here. When you talk about a strategic military defense anywhere in the world, you talk about ammunition, you talk about strategy, you talk about defense and intelligence. If you don't have none of those, how do you confront your enemy? If you have soldiers who will chicken out when it's time for battlefront, how do you rely on such soldiers?
Okay, Shadrach, let me get this conversation back. Laolu, what is the take on what they're saying?
Thank you. I want to make two quick points on this issue. On the first leg of it, we have to put the responsibility for the failure of the Nigerian military and security agencies to secure the life and property of Nigerians. We have to put that responsibility squarely on the desk of President Goodluck Jonathan. President Jonathan has failed to protect the life and property of Nigerians in those states. And one of the major responsibilities that he must own up to, for instance, is that last year, 2014, the federal government budgeted over $5 billion, about $5.8 billion to the military, specifically or mostly for this Boko Haram thing. And yet, the soldiers on the field, the troops don't get equipment, they don't get ammunition, they are outgunned, they are out-equipped by Boko Haram. Why? Because of the problem of corruption, which was the point I was making about the fact that, look, this president has turned his eye on the issue of corruption. He has not taken responsibility. Let me finish. Let me finish. So the president must take responsibility for the fact that Nigeria is spending so much money. That was just last year, $5.8 billion. You know, this thing has been on for about 5 years. So much money has been spent, released, and the money doesn't get through. It must take responsibility. Now, having said that, now I represent an association that is called the Christian Association of Nigerian Americans, and you know that association has actually, we issued a press release last week, and we were actually the first to call for an international force to stop the massacre of innocent Nigerians in the Northeast. We said that it is enough. The Nigerian military, which used to be strong, you know, and one of the people actually spoke to the fact that this military was a very well-known one in the world. But for some reasons, which includes corruption, that military is not performing to its power, and people are dying. So we do need an international force. We don't care where it comes from, really, to restore the normalcy of law and order. If the government cannot protect its citizens, the United Nations has something that is called the doctrine of responsibility to protect. So the international community must come in, because these are also human beings that are being sacrificed.
Okay, Shadrach, before you answer, let me ask you, I wanted to move this discussion forward. Last week, we saw the National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki, speaking in London. He said that we don't need the UN to intervene in Nigeria. So what is going on within this administration? When did they realize that they could not do this alone? They needed foreign troops. And when you think about the money, like Akande said, the money being invested in the military, are we getting the returns in that money? And who should be responsible, really?
Well, Rudolph, thank you so much. And I wanted to respond to
yeah, you can connect all of them.
It's easy for us to shout from the rooftop, corruption, 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 corruption. It's easy for us to say that. We should also not forget that this government inherited a military that had been under-equipped. It's a fact that we all know. It's a public knowledge that our military was ill-equipped before Boko Haram struck. And nobody, not even this government, knew the magnitude of Boko Haram. Okay? So yes, budgets have been made, but these budgetary allocations for equipment, training, these things don't happen overnight. We must not continue to play politics with everything, all in the name of trying to drag the president down. Yes, the president is the chief security head of the country, no doubt about that. And he has never never ever turned a blind eye on what's happening in the northeast or the up north of the country. Every effort is being made. The military is being equipped. Equipment to the knowledge of the world is being procured. And these things don't just happen overnight.
When you say, just a question for you, sir. When you say that the president has not turned a blind eye, why did it take him 2 weeks or more to accept the fact that Chibok girls have been abducted? What is that, if that is not turning a blind eye? Number one. Number two, why did it take him so long? Wait. No, I will let you answer.
Yeah,
Number one,
let finish.
You said that he didn't turn a blind eye. Why did it take him more than 2 weeks to respond to the fact that Chibok girls have been abducted? Number one. Okay. Number two, why did it take him so long to go to Borno State? Why did he have to wait to the time he was going to do the campaign to even go there? Number three, why did it take him to wait for Malala, a teenage girl from Pakistan, before he knew that he should meet with the family of the Chibok girls? Look, I mean, this is not politics. There is somebody who is called the commander-in-chief. When the commander-in-chief fails in his responsibilities, he has to carry the blame. All of these ideas, blaming past leaders and blaming other people, is really nonsense. The guy is the president, the boss stops at his table, and if there is failure, he takes it.
Reverend, sorry to call me, sir. Though, like Shadrach has said, we shouldn't politicize the point we are making.
This is not politics.
No, we shouldn't play politics with the life of people. Let's be honest. You and I both know. I'm not supporting Jonathan, like one of you said either. He said Jonathan is the number one chief security of the nation. But in that regard, I don't think he can do nothing when the military, they are Boko Haram within the military cycle.
Then let him go after them.
The government itself has even acknowledged that there's Boko Haram has infiltrated his government, which is very sad that up to now the responsibility of that statement has not been held responsible.
Sir, if the government said that there is Boko Haram within its rank, what stops the same government from dealing with them? So that's
what we're talking about.
No,
Jonathan alone cannot do it.
So he should leave. If he cannot do it, he should leave and let somebody else try.
Let me hear from Brewett, because he's been there, he's not been contributing. Let's hear from him, because we are running out of time. What do you think about this discussion?
For now, like I said, lives are being lost. So all these arguments to me will not help matters. Let's support the force that are coming to save this life first. Later we can set up a committee that will look whether money has been fraudulently utilized or the president turned a blind eye. All those issues to me for now. If it is, let's assume it's our sister, it's our brothers, we will accept those forces as quickly as possible. So lives are being lost. That's why to me, I see this argument for now it's not so relevant to me.
Okay, thank you. Shadrach, I will give you the chance, but I want you to, while you are answering them, also to address this issue about Soludo's letter. One of the things that is in that letter is that the government of Goodluck Jonathan, in the last 4 years, the money they've been able to realize from crude oil sale is almost equal to what we made 14 years before. That is the government of Yar'Adua, Obasanjo, Abdul Salami, Abacha, all put together. The money they made in the last 4 years. So I want you to, while you're answering the other questions, to put it in that context. Are we going to be satisfied with the level of accomplishment? And I know that in the last comment you made, we are talking about him building on things that have been abandoned. Remember again that this abandonment were done by the government of the same PDP. So I want to address some of these things.
Thank you so much, Rudolph.
Yeah.
First, let me answer to the Reverend. The president did not turn the other eye when the issue of Chibok girls happened. He did not. It is on record that the intelligence briefed him on what happened. And like any president anywhere, you don't just jump into security matters. There are experts in security issues. Yes, the president is the chief security officer, but he waits to be briefed based on intelligence. It happens everywhere in the world. The president doesn't just jump to the scene. What if the president is harmed there? Okay, so the president acted in line with the manner of security intelligence that was received at the time. the issue of the Chibok girls, even to the average Nigerian, there is still the question: was anybody really kidnapped? That's a question. That's an issue for another day.
Are you serious?
No, yes. To the average Nigerian,
I don't know the Nigerians that you are referring to, comrade.
Reverend, if you allow me to finish, please. To the average Nigerian, at the time of that incident, the question in the lips of everybody was anybody really kidnapped, given the whole scenario? But like I said, that's a question and that's a discussion for another day. So this president, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, has done, it's on record, he has done what many of his competitors have not been able to do in Nigeria. If only they have done it, the things he's doing now, he won't be worried about them. Talking about how much has been realized from oil and all of that. Again, as a country and as a people, it is about time we begin to channel and prioritize in terms of our development. Nigeria is a monolithic economy. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, everything that happens in Nigeria today depends on oil money. So people can sit down, Soludo can sit in his room anywhere he sits. He said he's busy, he's flying all over the world now, so he doesn't have time for what is happening in the local economy. That's fine. Some of us live abroad, but we're still concerned about what's happening in Nigeria. Soludo is part of Nigeria's problem because he served under Obasanjo. It was the same Obasanjo regime that invested 16 billion of the same oil money to energy, to reform the electric power sector. Today in Nigeria, despite all of that money that has been spent, we still don't have electricity. President Goodluck Jonathan, is doing the same thing that Obasanjo failed to do, even after investing 16 billion naira. So, as a nation, we should begin to think of departing from this appetite, our appetite for oil money. Everybody is so interested in oil. If oil dries up today, are we ready as a people, as a nation? For the emerging challenges.
Shadrach, round up, please, because we're really out of time. Round up and.
So to answer to this question, this president is using optimally the resources that are coming in to develop. We are seeing the roads from the east to the north to the west. We are seeing the road infrastructure. We are seeing the railway that was abandoned. As a child growing up in Port Harcourt, the train used to come from the north with tomato, yam, and everything. All that went down. But today, we have seen this president revamp the railroads. We have seen the airports wearing a new look. Okay? Today, in Africa, Nigeria is the largest economy. So what are we talking about? Why won't we allow this man to consolidate the things he has done, which his predecessors...
I totally disagree with you, sir.
Okay, no, I didn't ask you to talk. Hold on. I want Laolu to respond to that.
Well, two quick things to the comrade. Honestly, I must tell you that I'm very disappointed in your claim that Nigerians didn't know whether the guests were abducted or not. I can't believe it, that somebody will still have the audacity to make that kind of a public claim, even now, that Nigerians at any time... Let me finish, sir. Let me finish, sir. I must express my utter, disbelief that somebody will utter that kind of a statement publicly, that Nigerians did not know whether the guests were abducted or not. And I'm going to advise you, please, if you want to speak for this president, don't do him that disservice. That's number one. Then number two, on the issue of whether the president is working on the infrastructures or not, two questions. Number one, you said that the previous government spent $16 billion and couldn't resolve the issue of power. Well, that is a PDP government. Number two, what has stopped President Jonathan's government to actually bring a consequence on the fact that Obasanjo's government did not do it? He sat down there, did nothing about it. Now you are bringing it up. Even as we are speaking now, he told us 4 years ago in 2011, he said that if I can't solve the problem of power in 4 years, I am useless. His exact words. Don't vote for me. I don't see the infrastructure that you're talking about. I still traveled on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway about 2 weeks ago. The whole place is still a mess. And it is the same thing in several parts of the country. So I don't see your claim about any substantial infrastructure. It is even regrettable that somebody does a 100-kilometer road, and then we think that that is the reason why he should remain president.
Hold on, guys. Okay, I will let everybody round up. We're out of time totally. We're going to have a second part of a Skype segment when we discuss things like the real Buhari video and every other thing. But I will let you, Shadrach, round up just less than 30 seconds because we're out of time. They're kicking me out from here.
My call to Nigerians is that this president means well for the country. And he is doing, in the eyes of the opposition, he has done nothing. That is okay. But the ordinary Nigerian who is being impacted on the daily basis, not the elitist opposition, the ordinary Nigerian know and can feel the impact of the transformation that is going on in Nigeria, which other governments, administrations fail to do. So President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan should be given an opportunity to consolidate on the gains that we have so far achieved as a nation. We have a insecurity problem. Every Nigerian should get involved. It should be a collective effort. It should not be left for the government alone. Fighting corruption cannot be left for the government. Corruption is embedded. It's embedded in the fabric. Even the ordinary gate man, the man in the ministry. Is that also government?
Okay,
Is that also
Shadrach, thank you so much. I have to move on to Gregory. What's your conclusion? What is summarize what your opinion?
Well, to me, we all mean way to Nigeria. That's why we are all here discussing, despite the fact we live far off our country. My submission is this. Like I said the other day, both opponents, Buhari, Goodluck Jonathan, they are not credible. They are, to me, those people should not be. They should be kicked out. Buhari should go and sleep. Why Jonathan should be kicked out by any other government? That is my submission. They are not totally fit.
All right, thank you so much. Braithwaite, what is your conclusion?
Yes, my only issue here is that it's about our economy. Have we asked? There's one thing I know. Even if Buhari comes in today, if he doesn't do it, our economy will continue to be bad. Have we asked ourselves why we produce crude oil yet we import it? Now we don't have refineries. We sell our crude oil. The same billions of dollars we gain, we still use it to buy petrol. That is what we call budget trade deficit. For long, we have been spending more than we have been gaining. It's affecting our economy. Our economy is not growing. That's why the currency keeps falling. Whenever our currency starts rising, that's an indicator of an economic growth. So that is if tomorrow Buhari still comes and we start refineries like our refineries, whereby we sell more and then we sell more and get more dollars and spend less dollars, we still continue to have this problem. The last one is to tackle corruption. Corruption has so dealt with us that if we to throw people in jail is good. So my own is just about these two things, about the economy, just to repair the economy. That is my own submission.
All right, thank you so much, Laolu. Round up.
Yeah, thank you. So just two quick points. We heard about the fact that somebody is making a claim that President Jonathan is working in the interest of the average Nigerian. And just wanted to put a lie on that. Look, we have not forgotten the job for money scandal where you have the Internal Affairs Ministry, charge poor, unemployed graduates 1,000 naira each to come and do an interview and pack them in their thousands in the stadium, and quite a number of them died. And charging them money to come and get a public job. Now, the president did not fire anybody. The minister is still there. They made about more than $1 billion, about 2 billion naira on the back of these so-called poor Nigerians that the president is supposed to be working for. Who is fooling who? I'm talking about President General Buhari. General Buhari's government was the one that put in those refineries that are still working up till now. General Buhari is about the only Nigerian politician, or one of the few Nigerian politicians that you can actually say is not corrupt. A man of personal discipline and a man of integrity. Is somebody that can go after the Boko Haram insurgency, and that is why he's the candidate of the day.
All right. Thank you, guys. I really want to thank Shadrach Fubara. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rudolph. Thank you for inviting me to the show.
Okay. Bishop Gregory, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, sir.
Braithwaite Umenta, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Rudolph, at least, and Sahara brother for allowing me to air my view.
Thank you. And Laolu, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. God bless you.
Remember, we are going to come back for a second part of these Skype calls. We are going to talk about all the other issues in the news. So stay tuned. If you want to join us via Skype. You have our Skype ID. Thank you, and we will be right back.